everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games for a very special video. So today is actually the 2-year anniversary of me starting Fully Playable Games, and I was thinking about it a little while ago, and I haven't actually done a proper games room tour since I very first started the channel, and I wanted to rectify that because the collection has expanded leaps and bounds since I started the channel. I'm just looking on my screen. So 2021, when I first started Fully Playable Games, I had 176 games in the collection. I had 17 consoles and 4 handhelds. Let's say it's got a lot bigger since then. I think you can see behind me. So before we get started, just wanted to say that the way that I'm going to do this room tour will be fairly sort of whistle-stop tour for each of the shelves as we go around. But I am going to be putting out some videos over the course of the year, diving into each of the consoles in a bit more detail. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the shelves just above my PC, which is directly behind the camera. Where we'll go through my PC games to start with. So, as I said, we are going to start off with my PC game shelf. And as you can see, I have got an absolute stack here. I've got a whole load of big box games. I will say the majority of these were picked up from a charity shop haul that I got, I think it was last year, not last year, 2021. And I went in, the shop said, Dad, oh, we've got a load of games out the back. And I'm like, oh, let's have a look. And I went out and there was like a box and a massive bag filled with these. And I ended up getting them for, I think it was about 25, got them for £1 each. And yeah, absolutely over the moon. I've picked up a couple at the boot fairs. You'll see there we've got Theme Park, which is one that I was desperate to get. But across all of my PC games, I've got 92 in total. That's across the big box, the DVD cases and the CD cases. And I will say I've got some games in there that I absolutely love. There's one that's going to be coming up in a collection feature short in a few weeks' time called Mission Critical. And it is a point-and-click adventure in space. It stars, I can never remember the guy's name, but the one that played Worf in Star Trek. So, yeah, absolutely amazing. Really glad to have these. And, yeah, looking forward to actually finally getting my Windows 98 PC all set up so that I can play a lot of these as well. So, the next shelf we've got here is the shelf with my manga and a couple of retro consoles. So I've got my Spectrum Plus 2, which does need a bit of a repair. It's got a problem with the keyboard doesn't accept any inputs. So it's a simple fix. I think it's about £25 for a replacement keyboard membrane. And then we've got my Atari 2600 that we picked up. I think it was in a boot fair video a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely over the moon to have that. And yeah, looking forward to actually getting some time to play with it. So the last shelf in this part of the games room is my retro game shelf. And this consists of Spectrum, Commodore 64 and my Atari 2600 games. I've also, you'll see there, I've got a sealed version of E.T. I can never remember what console it's on. The RX 8030, is it the 7200 or something like that? But yeah, got that sealed, never opened it. I'll be honest, I've not got the console to play it on, but I will always keep that one sealed. And then yeah, I think my favourite selection of games here is my Spectrum games, because these are some of the games that I grew up playing. So we've got Turtles, we've got Batman, Ghostbusters, and then another one there called Manic Miner, which games that I remember intently from my childhood. So the next section is my Pokemon shelf. So I've got a whole stack of 3 shelves here, all with Pokemon bits on. All of these Pokemon sets up the top here are all sealed. And they are all duplicates. So I have got ones to open and also ones that I keep sealed. Yeah, it was something I always said I never would do, but I have ended up keeping some sealed ones, and I actually really enjoy how these shelves look in the games room. You'll see there right at the front, I've got my Pokemon cup that my little one got for me. It says, "Daddy, you are as strong as Pikachu, as smart as Slowking, as brave as Bulbasaur, as fluent as Totodile. You are my favourite Pokemon." And then the shelf down, I've got some more sealed stuff. You'll see there on the end, we've got the Pikachu and Zekrom box set. And then I've got booster boxes and elite trainer boxes for all of the sets that I've been opening recently. So we've got Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Fusion Strike I've got but never actually opened. And the final shelf in my Pokemon collection is you'll see my Pikachu N64 and a lot of my card binders as well. So I've got a couple of brand new card binders there waiting to put stuff in. And then I've also got the ones where I have been filling them out. I've labelled them up. And yeah, this is where whenever I pull any new cards, this is where I store them. So just below my Pokemon shelf is my main TV unit, and this is where I have all of my consoles that I play pretty regularly. So you'll see there on the top here, I've got a 40, no it's not, yeah, 40 inch LG, 4K LG TV. I was actually lucky enough, a friend gave me this when he got a new TV. So I thought it was perfect for my games room. Didn't realise how perfect it would become, the fact that it's white along with all of my consoles. So you'll see there, if we go from left to right, we've got my Series X Xbox, we've got my OLED Switch, my N64. That's my original N64, so that has got the jumper pack with the sticker still on it, so it's still box original. We've got my PS5, and then we've got the white Xbox 360 Slim that I picked up from the boot fair a couple of months ago. So this is the bottom section of my TV unit. You'll see there at the bottom, that is my green screen that I pull up whenever I'm using it. And then starting from the left, you'll see there I've got a couple of Nintendo consoles. I've got my GameCube with Game Boy Player, my original NES. Down the bottom, my Mega Drive, Mega CD, and just underneath on top of the Mega Drive is my 32X, along with my Sega Saturn as well. All consoles in there. I love playing, really enjoy them, and yeah, play them whenever I can. Then on the right side, we've got my PS3. This isn't my original PS3. That's one that I bought at a later date. We've got my Dreamcast, my original PS2, and my Super Nintendo. So yeah, some really great consoles there. These are the consoles that I do play most often, and yeah, I enjoy playing them whenever I get them out. It's always a whole lot of fun. So, getting to the first of the bookcases, the top shelf here I've got decked out with a load of my Nintendo stuff. You'll see there I've got my Super Game Boy, and just behind that is my box complete version of Mario Paint. Unfortunately, it is the US version. Then we move down to my Saturn shelf. So I've got 35 Saturn games in the collection. I've got a couple of Japanese ones as well, which I'm able to play because I've got the Action Replay, which is really good. And then I've got a stack of various old PC games on floppy disk. Then we move down to my Dreamcast shelf, which I've got 15 games for. And my Mega CD, which I've got 8 games for. And just in the middle there, you'll see that I've got a PC Engine game as well. So the next shelf in this bookcase has got all of my, or mostly my Nintendo handhelds. So on the back there, you'll see my boxed Game Boy. That's the original DMG. We've got a NES and SNES Mini, both brand new in the box. They've never been played. My Game Boy, Pokemon Game Boy Colors, some of my Game Boy Pockets up the back there, and my stack of DS Lites, 3DSs, DSIs, and then a couple of Game Boy Advanced SPs as well. And just at the front there is a set of the 30th anniversary Mario pins. Then scrolling down a shelf, we've got my complete collection of PS1s. So this is all 3 variants of the original PlayStation. You'll see a PS1 Mini up the top there. We've got a new in-box PlayStation Mini up the back there. That is box complete. I actually got 2 different ones. We've got my original PS1. And then on the end here, we've got my box complete PS Vita as well. So, yeah, I absolutely love collecting these. And I think the hardest one was obviously the version 1 of the original PlayStation, which I managed to get hold of from one of the boot fairs, which was really good. So, carrying on with the PlayStation theme, we've then come to my second PlayStation shelf, which has got my PS2s. I've got the fat and slim version and the silver. My fat version of fat black version is under the TV unit. You'll see there I've got 2 PS3s. One of them is a backwards compatible one, but it is completely dead, unfortunately. Then my PS4 and a copy of Book of Spells. Then on the shelf below, we've got my original Xbox. I do need to get in and do the capacitors, switch out the capacitor in that. Then just above that, we've got our Xbox 360 HD DVD drive. And then a couple of different variants of the original Xbox. So the first 2 there are actually both Pro versions, because they've both got HDMI. We've then got the original Elite. We've got a standard Xbox 360 Slim, and then the Gears of War Slim as well. So yeah, really chuffed to get them. So the final shelf in this bookcase is the shelf that I've got all of my anime, video game, Blu-rays, DVDs, all of that sort of stuff. You'll see there I've got a couple of TV programs as well. Got a copy of Animaniacs, The Real Ghostbusters, which is brand new and sealed. And then up the back there, you can't quite see it, but I've got a massive set of Thunderbirds VHSs as well. So yeah, I've just got a shelf basically dedicated to TV, film, and anime. So yeah, love watching them periodically as well. And yeah, I have still got a VHS player that I do watch some of these on as well. So next up, we're going to have a look at a little storage unit I've got in the corner of the room. So up top there, you'll see I've got a couple of 2DS boxes. I've got my PlayStation VR. That is the original one, not the 2 yet. My boxed Wii. This is actually a box of spare parts that I've got for various handhelds and consoles. And then I've got this drawer unit that I picked up last year. And I wanted to use it for storing various parts of my gaming collection. So the top drawer here has got all of my AV cables in. I've got them all in individual bags, labelled up with what consoles they are. So I know that if, for example, if I'm playing an original PlayStation, I can just grab the PlayStation bag out and I've got AV cables for the PlayStation. And then to go with that, just going to reposition the camera a sec. So next drawer down is all of my power leads. Once again, they're all labelled up with which console they're for. So it's a lot easier for me to just grab them. I've got a couple of the Atari ones in here. These have just been put in because the Ataris have recently been added to the collection. And then thirdly, it is going to be the controllers. So this is probably the messiest drawer out the lot. I do need to get in there and sort it out a bit more. And then the bottom of the unit, I've got 2 more drawers. This one's just various bits for filming videos. And then the bottom drawer has got all of my plastic protectors, and then some tools for when I'm doing repairs on various consoles. So, moving on to the next bookcase, we've got my box for my Mega CD, and then just there on the left, we've got my brand new in box Resident Evil Chainsaw controller. That's the GameCube version I've got there, plus my Sonic Money box. Yeah, absolutely over the moon the day that I got my Mega CD. Then, moving down to the top two shelves in this bookcase, it is going to be all of my retro Sega. And basically both shelves are completely dominated with my Mega Drive collection. So for the Mega Drive, I've got a total of 70 games. Most of them are boxed, and I think a good portion of those ones as well are box complete. I mean, there's probably only about 10 at most that I don't have the manuals for. Then on the shelf below, we've got my one Master System game, my 332X games, and then a couple of my Game Gear games. Haven't actually got a Game Gear yet to play them on, but I have got the games. And then the rest of my Mega Drive collection as well, including a whole stack of car-onlys. This was a little Sonic keyring that I got. I believe I got it from Alton Towers. But, yeah. So, yeah, that is my Mega Drive collection. The remaining shelves in this bookcase are completely dedicated to my Nintendo collection. And we'll start off on this one, which has got my N64 collection. You'll see there, I've got my 3 heavy hitters. We've got Conker's Bad Fur Day, Majora's Mask, and Ocarina of Time. In total, I've got 39 39 N64 games. And you'll see there's a wide raft of ones that we've got. Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, even Pilot Wing 64. So moving down, we've got my Switch collection, which consists of 34 games. You'll see there I've got a sealed copy of Tales of Symphonia, which I played the other week. I actually filmed this before I opened it. Then we move on to my NES and SNES collection, which I've got 15 of each. And then right at the front there, you'll see my copy of Super Mario Land 2 on the Famicom Disk System. Then we move on to probably the most important shelf in my collection at the moment, and that is my GameCube shelf. So at the moment, I've got them double stacked. I am trying to work out a way to display all of the games as I go through collecting them this year. At the moment, I've got 101 GameCube games in the collection. I will say I have got a load more GameCube games that I'll be showing off in up and coming videos. But yeah, really, really chuffed with this, and I will admit I am really enjoying collecting for the GameCube. It was always a console that I really enjoyed. You'll see there as well, I have got a copy of Luigi's Mansion, but unfortunately it is an NTSC. So I can play it, but it doesn't, I'm going to have to re-buy it for the N64 collection. Then, moving down to the next shelves, we've got my Wii collection. And actually, I didn't realise until after I finished filming, my Wii U collection is actually sitting behind the Wii at the bottom there. So I've got 139 Wii games and 10 Wii U games. So this year, one of my aims is to pick up a Wii U console. So fingers crossed I can do that. You'll see there, I have got a couple of heavy hitters. We've got Mario Kart Wii, Mario Party 8 and 9, new Super Marios, and I don't know if you'll see it there. Yeah, it's actually at the back there. So I've got Super Smash Brothers Brawl as well. So I've got quite a few of the heavy hitters on the Wii. I will be honest, I don't play my Wii too often. It's one of the reasons why you didn't see it set up on the TV unit. But I do have the black and the blue consoles. So the last two shelves in this bookcase have got my original Game Boy Advance, DS and 3DS games in. I've got 19 Game Boy games. Two of them you've seen earlier on. They were the boxed versions of Mario and Mario Land 1 and 2. I've got 8 Game Boy Advance games. I think 2 of them are box complete. I've got 22 3DS games, including quite a few Pokemon games there in the middle. I will admit I do really enjoy playing on the 3DS. And then moving into my DS games. So I've got a few on this shelf, but the majority of them are on the bottom shelf where they are double stacked. I've got 104 DS games in the collection. And I would say out of that 104, I think at least 90 of them will be boxed. Not necessarily box complete, but there's definitely most of them are boxed. So here's a shelf that's visible in most of my videos. This is my Fallout shelf. I have pretty much got all of the Fallout games that have been released since the 3D version of Fallout. So we've got Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. And I've got the special edition versions of all of them. They've all been bought brand new from the shops. Right back to me buying my first Fallout 3, which I absolutely loved and put far too much. Probably racked up well over 500 hours in various playthroughs of Fallout 3. So the next shelf in this bookcase is going to be my original Xbox collection. I've got 181 original Xbox games. And I've got quite a wide mix. Going into the consoles now, there's going to be a complete range of games. But one of the games that I originally bought my original Xbox to play was Doom 3. Originally, I bought it on PC, and my PC just wasn't up to scratch to play it. So, yeah, I ended up, when I could, picked up an original Xbox so that I could play it on there. And then another game I think is hidden on the second row on this shelf is my copy of Outrun 2, which was another game that I absolutely loved playing on my Xbox. And I very frequently set up the original Xbox to play both of those games. So, yeah, another console I absolutely love playing. And as well, I get to play it with both the Duke and the S controller because I've got both of them in the collection. So now we move on to my second biggest collection. So this is my Xbox 360 collection. I've got 348 games in the collection. You'll see there I've got pretty much all of the Assassin's Creeds, I think all of the Batmans, quite a few of the Battlefields. You'll see there I've got Big Bumpin', which is one of 3 of the Burger King games. I have actually got all 3 of the Burger King games. I've got all 3 of the Bioshocks. A good selection of the Call of Duties, but I don't really play them too much anymore. Gears of War. I think I've got my best FIFA collection on here on the Xbox 360 as well. So you see there my collection goes from FIFA 07 right the way through to FIFA 17. And then we move down and we've got my final shelf, which has got my Pro Evolution, PGR, Pure with a Batman. So this shelf's a bit more random. See there I've got my Saints Row games. I think I've got all of the Xbox 360 games as well. So, yeah, a real mix of games on my Xbox, both high profile and shovelware as well. So, moving on to the last Xbox shelf in the collection, we've got my Xbox One shelf, which I have got 81 games in the collection at the moment. So, you see there, Prey, I have to say I absolutely loved playing that game. Star Wars The Fallen Order, another absolutely amazing game. We've then got my Master Chief Cable Guy's controller holder, a special edition Lucasade box that I found with Master Chief on, and then my Halo Master Chief collection. So, yeah, I will say I play my Xbox Series S all the time. Absolutely love playing it. But we then move down to another one of my all-time favourite consoles. I have played this so much since getting it. That's my PS4. So I've currently got 95 PS4 games in the collection. You'll see there's a couple of Legos, Minecrafts. Obviously, Little'em plays most of the Minecrafts. Resident Evils. Absolutely love my Resident Evil. Can't wait for Resident Evil 4 to come out at the end of the month. We've got a couple of VR titles as well. Shantae's there as well. And then we've got a couple of we've got my PS5 collection. It's not too big at the moment. I've only got 13 games in there. And most of them are still sealed because I've just not had the chance to play them. I think the top game there that I want to play is Dying Light. And Chernobyl is another one that I really want to play. So, onto the last shelf in this bookcase. And we are onto my PSP and PS Vita collection. So, for the PSP, I've got 72 games. Most of these, I think I got a good chunk from a job lot that I got from eBay not long after I started the channel, but the majority of them have actually come from boot fair pickups. I will say that the boot fair is probably the number one place I get my PSP games from. Then the PS Vita collection, I've got 11 games. Most of them come from a job lot that I got with my PS Vita. A couple I've got from CEX and a couple from the boot fair, and I think one there from eBay as well. So we're going to start off the last bookcase with my Portal shelf, and this shelf is mainly taken up with my life-size Portal gun. Did not realise how much these had gone up in value. I think I paid about £100 for it. Looked before this video and they're going for over £600 now. Then we move on to my PS1 shelf, or shelves should we say. I've got 184 games in my PS1 collection. I think when I first started, I probably had about 3 or 4. A couple I had were missing discs, so I have rebought them. But yeah, I am really, really happy with how the PS1 collection has built up over the last 2 years. And yeah, you'll see there's a whole wide range of games. Tony Hawk's, you've got the Resident Evils, you've got the Dino Crisis. This is another console that I absolutely love playing and sort of play the games whenever I get a chance. So next up is my biggest collection, and this is my PS2 collection. I've got 411 games in my PS2. And yeah, I know that that's not even scratching the surface of the PS2 games, but I do tend to find them sort of quite often. And I will say if I come across a game that I've not got in the collection, I will tend to pick it up all day long. All of the shelves are double stacked. So essentially, looking at the bookcase, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's about seven and a half shelves worth of PS2 games if I was to have them all out. But yeah, it is by far my biggest collection. I do have variations. You'll see there I've got Gran Turismo A-Spec. I've got 3 different versions of that. A couple of the Sega games, Sega Classics collection, which was a good one because that had, it had a version of Outrun. Wasn't the best one. Not by a long shot. And then the final shelf of games that I've got is my PS3 selection. So, I have got 198 PS3 games. This was probably one of the main consoles that I collected for before starting the channel. It was, I think my other half bought me my PS3. She bought me a 40 gig for the Christmas after they come out. So I had one pretty much for the life of the console. And yeah, it's another one that if I see games out and about for it, especially at the boot fairs, I will normally always pick them up. And yeah, you'll see on top there, I've actually got a PS3 Netflix disc. I actually imported that from the US because back in the day, that was the only way to watch Netflix on the PS3. So before we wrap up the games room tour, just wanted to show you a couple of extras that I had that I don't actually have places on the shelf to put. I've got a couple of my Xbox 360s. We've got the 360E, the 360 Slim Elite, and then my Halo 360 as well. We've got my boxed PS1. That's box complete with all the cables, instructions, everything. And just up the back there, that white box is actually my press edition of Gran Turismo 4. I've got my boxed Nintendo DS XL. My Steam Deck. Not Steam Deck. Steam Link, that one is, sorry. So that is something that we used to use before the Stream Deck. My Mega Drive 2. And also my box complete Mega CD 2 as well. Pick this up. The only thing that's missing is the game disc, which I will be adding in as soon as I can pick up another copy of it. So that is my games room, and yeah, I have to admit, I absolutely love being in this room. It's my main room that I work out of. I do all my resale stuff in here. I've got my desk, which when I'm working from home, I work from that desk. And yeah, there's a lot of times I love being in this room. I've put a lot of work into putting it together, but I will say I thoroughly enjoyed every part of it. And when I actually look at the figures, it is breathtaking for me. So as I said earlier on, I started off the collection with 176 games. Those were games that I'd collected from when I was a kid. So right away from when I first got my Mega Drive and my Game Boy, all the way through to, I think at the time it was the PS4, a couple of games that I had there. But yeah, I've never traded in games. I mean, the only thing that I've ever sold was I originally had a third-party screen for my PlayStation 1. And I think I sold that one time when I was a bit strapped for cash. But other than that, everything that I've got over the years, I've kept. I think the only exception to that as well would be the cardboard cases, unfortunately, for the PC games. I'm absolutely devastated. There are some games up there that are worth an absolute fortune with their cardboard cases. But yeah, unfortunately, they all got thrown away and I kept the discs. I mean, as I say, the only one that I did keep for some reason was the GTA box. But as I say, so 176 games I started with. The collection now has a total of 2,458 games in. Just, yeah, it blows my mind. Whenever I look at my tracking app and I see that number, it always puts a smile on my face. I'll be honest, I've probably played about 10% of the games in the collection. But yeah, I just love seeing them on the shelves. I really do. Then consoles. So as I said earlier on, I started off the collection with 17 consoles. So yeah, I think we had what, my N64, my Dreamcast, Mega Drive, PS1, PS3, PS2. So it was very PlayStation centric with a couple of Nintendos. And I think by that time I had a couple of Xboxes as well, so I had my original and my 360. But yeah, it has grown massively from there as well. So it's not just the games that have gone up. Consoles, we've now got 53 in the collection. And I will say I've got an absolute stack more that are going to be getting added over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I think since the new year, I've really been picking up consoles more than anything. And actually, the weekend just gone, I went out and I actually picked up something that I never intended on picking up. But it was offered to me. It was a reasonable price. I had the money for it, so I ended up picking it up. So that will be in a video in, I think it's about 6 weeks' time. That one will be going out. But yeah, I am picking up consoles left, right, and centre at the moment, which is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that 53 is going to go up dramatically over the next couple of months. And then handhelds. So as I say, I started off with 4 handhelds. If I remember rightly, it was my original Game Boy, a Nintendo DS, a new 3DS, and I can't remember what the other one was. I think it might have been a PSP, but I'm not too sure. I don't think it was. I think I had a couple of PSP games, but I don't remember what that 4th console was. What I actually to let you know, the way that I got my figures for this video was I actually went back to my original room tour video, so the very first video that I put out on the channel, and I literally went through and I sat there and counted all of the games that come up on screen, all of the consoles and everything. So that's how I got to this number. It is as accurate as I can make it. But yeah, so 4 handhelds we started the channel with. Now we've got 21. Once again, I have got some more handhelds that are going to be added into the collection in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And then the other thing that I've done, and this is probably the bit that's taken me the longest. So I've actually looked back over the last 2 years, and I've looked at what I've spent on the collection so far. And then I've also used price charting to go through and value the collection as it stands at the moment. Yeah, I've been doing this since December I started valuing the collection. So yeah, it's taken me a while, but just because there was so much to go through. So over the last 2 years, so that is all of the game hunts, the CEX challenges, all of the odd games that I've picked up sort of here and there. I've spent a total of £10,262.21. Yeah, I haven't told the wife. No, I will be honest, a lot of that has come from the stuff that I've been selling on my resale side, because originally when I started my the resale stuff, I was actually doing that to fund the gaming channel. And basically fund the collection, and it's sort of spun into a bit more over sort of the last 2 years. But yeah, so I thought that my eyes watered when I saw that, because the way I looked at it, 10 grand, that's an amazing trip to Florida. But I will say, yeah, I wouldn't trade it at all. I wouldn't sell it. Yeah, I just wouldn't. But what I will say is there is a massive positive, because as I say, I have also gone through and valued the collection. So most of the prices that I've got for all of the games in the collection are from price charting. So I've literally gone on there and I've added my whole collection in. There are a couple of games that weren't listed. There are also a couple of games that didn't have prices. In that circumstance, I then looked at eBay. Basically took an average of like the most recent 5 sold listings. So the total collection value as of the 1st of March 2023 is £29,373 and 3p. So the way I look at it is I've spent just over 10,000 on this, and if I was to sell it all today, I would be looking at anywhere between 25 and 30,000 pounds for the whole collection, which is absolutely amazing. I will say I've got no intentions of selling it. As I say, I absolutely love the collection. I love being in this room, and I love just being able to look around at everything that I've got in here. And yeah, what we may even knock through this wall and extend the games room. I would love to. That is one of my dreams in this house, is to be able to knock through this wall and yeah, extend the games room. But unfortunately we rent, so I'm not able to do that. So yeah, that is the collection as it is. But before I wrap up the video, there's one more thing that I wanted to go through quickly, and that was a bit of an update on the channel itself. So the channel has been doing so well recently. I am really over the moon. with how the channel is, and yeah, there's been some really good videos, or really good performing videos, sorry. My couple of my review videos that I've put up really sort of took off. And I've had a couple of shorts actually that have done really well. Obviously my reviews were shorts, but it's actually got me thinking about some extra content that I can do on the channel. So starting, I'm going to probably aim for the beginning of April. I'm going to look to add another full video in. So obviously at the moment I'm doing 2 shorts a week and 1 full video. So I'm going to add another full video in. And that is going to cover sort of a bit of a mix of stuff. So I wanted to obviously do my in-depth look at the collection. So for example, I will sort of do a video where I look through all of my 360 collection and my consoles and everything like that, and just do a bit of a breakdown, or a bit, not breakdown, but a bit more of an in-depth look into different parts of the collection. I then want to get back to repairing. So when I first started the channel, I put out a couple of repair videos, but yeah, just didn't really get the time, wasn't really picking up the faulty consoles, but I have been picking up faulty consoles left, right and centre. Most of the new consoles that I've picked up that are coming in future videos are all going to need some work in one way or another to get them pristine. So yeah, well, I am going to be adding in repair videos again, and I also want to get into something a bit more fun as well. So I wanted to start looking at some top 10s, and I think the first top 10 I've got is something that I've been toying around with for a while. I think I wrote the list out probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and I decided, yeah, I'm going to add that in. So the way that it's going to work is 1 week we'll do a deep dive into the collection, 1 week we'll do a top 10, and next the other week we'll do a repair video, and then we'll just go back. And then there will be the odd week as well where the hunting videos will roll over into 2. I think I've had a couple of those this year. And yeah, but I will say that Friday videos are staying exactly as they are. They are going to be hunting videos through and through, and I've got no intentions on changing them. So if those are the videos you prefer, they'll be out on a Friday as normal. And then the regular video, I'm probably going to look to put it out on probably a Wednesday. So we'll have Monday will be one of my shorts, Wednesday will be one of these 3 videos, Friday will be a hunt video, and then Sunday will be another short video. So yeah, I'm going to really sort of try and ramp up the content on the channel. As I say, I'm aiming for the beginning of April to start those. So keep your eye out on the channel, and if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when those new videos go live. And yeah, I think that is going to about wrap up this video. So once again, just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who watches the videos, leaves comments on the videos, and especially likes the videos as well. I have had so much fun over the last 2 years doing the channel. I am looking forward to the next 2 years. But what I am going to do as well is I am going to make sure that I am doing a games room tour once a year. So yeah, this time next year, so for the 3rd birthday of the channel, we will do another room tour. And yeah, I just want to make it a bit more of a regular thing. But with that said, as I say, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.